Sydney is one of those cities that genuinely earns every superlative thrown at it. Nestled along one of the most beautiful natural harbors in the world, this Australian metropolis blends breathtaking landscapes, rich indigenous and colonial history, world-class dining, and a laid-back coastal energy that is impossible to resist. Whether you are a first-time visitor or someone returning for another unforgettable chapter, Sydney never runs out of ways to surprise you. From its sun-drenched beaches to its dramatic clifftop walks, from its vibrant inner-city neighborhoods to its serene national parks, the city offers an extraordinary range of experiences that cater to every kind of traveler. What makes Sydney truly special is not just any single landmark or attraction, but the way all of these elements come together to create a destination that feels both grand and deeply personal. The harbor sparkles under the southern hemisphere sun, the streets hum with creative energy, and the people carry that unmistakable warmth that Australians are known for around the world. So if you are planning a trip or simply dreaming of one, here are the top 10 places you absolutely must visit when you find yourself in this magnificent city. No list about Sydney would be complete without beginning at the Sydney Opera House, arguably the most recognizable building on the planet. Perched dramatically on Bennelong Point, jutting out into the harbor with its iconic sail-shaped shells gleaming white against the blue sky, this architectural masterpiece was designed by Danish architect Jørgen Utzon and opened in 1973 after a famously turbulent construction process. Today it stands as a United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization World Heritage Site and one of the greatest works of 20th century architecture. But the Opera House is far more than a pretty facade. It is a fully functioning performing arts center that hosts over 1,500 performances every year, spanning opera, ballet, theater, classical music, and contemporary performances. You can tour the interior to appreciate the stunning design up close, dine at one of its acclaimed restaurants, or simply sit on the forecourt steps as the sun sets over the harbor and soak in the magic of the moment. Standing just a short walk from the Opera House is the Sydney Harbour Bridge, affectionately known by locals as the coat hanger due to its distinctive arched steel design. Completed in 1932, this engineering marvel stretches 503 meters across the harbor, connecting the central business district on the south side to the north shore. The bridge is not just a commuter route, it is an experience in itself. The most thrilling way to engage with it is through the bridge climb experience, where guided groups ascend to the summit of the arch, 134 meters above sea level, for panoramic views that stretch across the entire city, the harbor, and beyond. If climbing is not your style, walking or cycling across the pedestrian and cycle lanes is equally rewarding and completely free. The views from the bridge looking back toward the Opera House and the gleaming harbor are among the most photographed in the world, and for very good reason. Bondi Beach is perhaps the most famous stretch of sand in the southern hemisphere, and it absolutely lives up to its legendary reputation. Located just 8 kilometers east of the central business district, this crescent-shaped beach draws millions of visitors every year with its golden sands, rolling surf, and electric atmosphere. The beach itself is stunning, but what makes Bondi truly special is the culture that surrounds it. The Bondi to Coogee Coastal Walk begins here, a 6-kilometer clifftop trail that winds along dramatic sandstone headlands, past hidden beaches, ocean pools, and public art installations, all the way to the suburb of Coogee. Back on the beach, the famous Iceberg Swimming Club sits at the southern end, its ocean pool dramatically perched above the crashing waves. The surrounding streets are lined with cafes, boutiques, and restaurants that reflect the area's creative, cosmopolitan character. Whether you are surfing, swimming, people watching, or simply lying in the sun, Bondi delivers an experience that feels quintessentially Sydney. Tucked beneath the southern pylons of the Harbour Bridge lies the Rocks, Sydney's oldest neighborhood and the site where European settlement of Australia began in 1788. Walking through its narrow cobblestone laneways feels like stepping back through centuries of history, with beautifully preserved sandstone buildings, heritage pubs, and converted warehouses telling the story of a city that grew from a penal colony into a global metropolis. The Rocks Market, held on weekends, is a beloved institution where local artisans, food producers, and vintage sellers gather under the shadow of the bridge. The neighborhood is also home to some of Sydney's finest dining establishments, boutique hotels, and galleries. The Museum of Contemporary Art Australia sits at the edge of Circular Quay. Nearby, offering world-class exhibitions in a stunning Art Deco building. For anyone wanting to understand the soul of Sydney, the Rocks is an essential starting point. Taronga Zoo occupies a spectacular hillside position on the north shore of the harbour, offering visitors the rare combination of extraordinary wildlife encounters and some of the most breathtaking views in the city. Home to over 4,000 animals representing nearly 350 species, Taronga is consistently ranked among the finest zoos in the world. Here you can come face to face with koalas, kangaroos, wombats, and platypuses, alongside giraffes, gorillas, snow leopards, and sun bears. The zoo is deeply committed to conservation, running breeding programs for endangered species both in Australia and internationally. The Sky Safari cable car ride over the zoo provides a bird's eye perspective of the animals below and the harbor beyond, making it a highlight in itself. Getting to Taronga is also part of the adventure. A short ferry ride from Circular Quay delivers you directly to the zoo's lower entrance with stunning harbor views along the way. Stretching along the harbor foreshore just east of the Opera House, the Royal Botanic Garden is a 30-hectare oasis of calm in the heart of one of the world's busiest cities. Established in 1816, it is the oldest scientific institution in Australia and home to an extraordinary collection of plants from across the globe. Winding pathways lead through themed gardens, past ancient Moreton Bay fig trees, and along the harbor's edge with uninterrupted views of the Opera House and bridge. The garden is a favorite escape for city workers, joggers, families, and visitors alike, offering free entry and a genuinely restorative experience. Guided walks, including Aboriginal heritage tours that explore the garden's deep significance to the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, add a profound layer of meaning to what might otherwise seem like a simple stroll through beautiful greenery. The journey to Manly Beach is half the attraction. Boarding a ferry at Circular Quay and gliding across the harbor for 30 minutes, passing the Opera House, the bridge, and dozens of secluded bays, is one of the great travel experiences Sydney has to offer. Manly itself is a vibrant beachside suburb with a relaxed village-like atmosphere that feels worlds away from the city center, despite being so close. The beach is magnificent with consistent surf, a long promenade lined with Norfolk Island pines, and a pedestrian mall packed with cafes and surf shops. The Manly to Spitbridge walking track is one of Sydney's best-kept secrets, a 10-kilometer coastal trail through Sydney Harbour National Park that offers extraordinary views and a genuine sense of wilderness just minutes from the urban core. Just 90 minutes west of Sydney by train lies one of the most dramatic landscapes in New South Wales, the Blue Mountains. This vast wilderness of eucalyptus forests, deep sandstone gorges, and towering cliffs takes its name from the blue haze produced by oil droplets released by the millions of eucalyptus trees that blanket the valleys. The Three Sisters rock formation at Echo Point in Katoomba is the region's most iconic site, rising dramatically from the valley floor with the endless forest stretching to the horizon behind them. The Scenic World Complex nearby offers cable car, railway, and walkway experiences that take visitors deep into the Jameson Valley. The Blue Mountains are also a paradise for bushwalkers, with hundreds of trails ranging from gentle strolls to multi-day wilderness expeditions. Rounding out this list is the dynamic waterfront precinct of Darling Harbour and its neighbour, Barangaroo, together forming one of Sydney's most exciting urban renewal success stories. Darling Harbour is home to the Sea Life Sydney Aquarium, where you can walk through underwater tunnels surrounded by sharks, rays, and dugongs, as well as the Wildlife Sydney Zoo, the Australian National Maritime Museum, and the International Convention Centre. The waterfront is lined with restaurants and bars that buzz with energy day and night. Barangaroo, developed on a former industrial site just north of Darling Harbour, is a stunning new precinct featuring a beautiful headland reserve that has been restored to its pre-European appearance, complete with native plantings and sandstone foreshore. Together, these two precincts capture something essential about modern Sydney, a city that honors its past while boldly reimagining its future, always with the sparkling harbour as its backdrop.